Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. This is a very special episode because Cameron tells me that we have a very special guest.
I didn't tell you that, but...
Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health, and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as hyperlipidemia and New Year's resolution, so I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Hey, Dr. London, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Did you have a good holiday vacation?
Oh, yeah. So, I told you I was going to go to the Bermuda Triangle. I was going to try that out.
Oh, yes. And you're still here with us, so I'm guessing that didn't happen?
No, well, so geometry was never my best subject. The whole triangle thing really got me. So
you just ended up in Bermuda, but like outside of the triangle?
Yeah, like there were...
Because you thought it was more of an octagon shape or something?
There were a lot of other shapes there when I got there.
Oh, yeah.
And so, so I failed in getting to my destination, but it was it's a nice place.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's great. I mean, mine was sort of similar. I also wanted to go to the Bermuda Triangle, but I'm here, so I didn't make it because I was driving through Memphis on my way to get to Bermuda.
Yes, no.
And they have the giant pyramid that used to be like a college basketball stadium or arena, and now is a Bass Pro Shop. It's a giant pyramid that if you're driving anywhere in Memphis, the sun is going to hit it, and it's going to blind you as it reflects into your eyes. Well, and so I ended up spending about 3-4 weeks there.
Just blind? Just in Memphis blind?
Blind and in a Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah. So you knew
because I thought that was the Bermuda Triangle. I was like, oh, it's a big triangle.
Well, it is shaped that way. Yeah.
Yeah. They have a zip line too. They've got a zip line in there.
I bet it's really good when you're blind.
And then camping gear and sports stuff.
Could you tell all this just by feeling around?
Oh yeah. I'm really good. I'm a tactile kinesthetic learner.
Yeah.
And so I can sort of just feel around and see what's going on. I still can't see, and I was able to set up this podcast.
I'm doubting a little bit that you actually were in Bass Pro Shop, now that you say it like that, because if you were blind and just wandering around in Memphis and touching stuff.
There's this one section in Bass Pro Shop where everything you touch, it goes, let go of me, stop that. You're under arrest. And then they take you to a different section of the Bass Pro Shop where you get fed, 3 square meals a day, and you work for pennies.
And do you work out as well?
Yeah, there's lots of working out. You sort of have to join a club immediately and then start getting strong the second you're in there. This Bass Pro Shop.
Any tattoos?
Yes, but not ones I'd want to show you.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's nice that your vacation went so well.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I love Bass Pro now.
Yeah. Well, so that was our producer Cameron. Also with us is Did You Know in the House? And later, Cameron tells us that we can expect a special guest.
I didn't tell you that, but...
Before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. But for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of free divers, which is people who would dive into water no charge. However, in our efforts to cater to them...
Thieves, basically. They're stealing just a fresh dive. You have to pay.
Well, okay. I'm going to say this is why we don't retain the listeners. But in our efforts to cater to those free divers, we tried to cater to them, but we found that we were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. So, Cameron, could you ask the Space Heater for listener feedback?
Yeah, for sure. Space Heater. Whatever robot AI is inside this machine, could you please give a review or ask a question about the Jock Doc podcast?
Yes. Dear host of the Jock Doc podcast, I'm an insane robot made of metal and have no soul. I listened to this week's episode and I'm now in love with you all. Thank you for your time, robot.
Okay, another one of these.
And the emphasis is exactly like that.
Okay.
I'm now in love with you all.
Okay. So, and it's one of these things where we're a little early for Valentine's Day here, but like I know this is going to come up with especially with our AI listeners. So we insane robot. We don't want to fraternize with our listeners in a romantic way.
There's a weird power dynamic there, isn't there, Dr. London, to fraternize with fans like that?
Yeah, it's just, it's like it's a student-teacher relationship essentially. We're teaching medicine to these robots, and there's this expectation, and there's this. If we were to become romantic with one of our listeners, then there would be this sort of, well, where is the line? Yeah.
And, so this is why when we do, bang our fans, there's no romance in it at all. That aspect is gone.
No eye
So
contact.
there's no sort of manipulation going on or any kind of weird power dynamic.
Talking.
This is just purely carnal. And there's no romance, and no one is happy. No one's smiling. Everyone is very stoic and
There's
silent.
an emphasis on a lack of pleasure for everyone involved.
Yes. It's very, very sort of programmatic.
Yeah, I'd say,
and you're wearing a hazmat suit for most of it.
Yeah, at least for the parts that you would otherwise consider to be the good parts.
Yes, which will not be. Because again, that would mess up the power dynamics of the situation.
But thank you to Insane Robot for listening and for mentioning the stuff about your being made of metal. That was very insightful for us. Now for today's medical topic, nephrogenic complications of diabetes mellitus. Mismanaged diabetes puts the patient at risk of developing a variety of dangerous complications. And one such type of complication is diabetic nephropathy.
No, it's not.
Okay, well this...
No, it's not. Why do you lie about this?
Okay, well... You always do this after we talk about something that there is a very real debate to have. You follow it up with just something clinically factual, and you say, "Oh, well, that stuff applies to this too."
Yeah,
and I'm just like what I was about to say, and I feel like you're just gonna try to play devil's advocate. So nephro, that's Nephro, it refers to the kidneys. Do you have a problem with me saying that?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, let's see this.
No, it does not.
What? Okay, what does it refer to?
I don't understand why you're lying about this. Just say kidneys. You're trying to hide. It's like the ingredients on the back of a bag of potato chips. It's trying to hide the real words for some sinister reason.
It's just to shorten it so if you use prefixes and stuff, I guess
you got shitty kidneys. Your kidneys are trash
from the diabetes. Okay, so your problem's more with the terminology I'm using, but
yeah, and because it's wrong, it's false.
So nephro, in this context at least, nephro is used to refer to the kidneys. So this is when the kidneys are damaged. Nephropathy. Pathy refers to damage or disease. So
like Mighty Nephrodite, the Woody Allen film, your favorite director.
Yeah, the film is my favorite director. Yes.
Yeah. Not Woody Allen. God, no.
There's
Monster.
I heard he's got some weird stuff in his.
Yeah.
But I love it when that film is directed. Yeah, but
it was so good.
But normally the blood flows through the kidneys, and the kidneys act as filters and produce urine through this filtering process. Early in the disease of nephrogenic complications of diabetes mellitus, microalbuminuria may develop, which means that protein is lost in the urine. That's microalbumin. Albumin is a type of protein.
No, it's not.
Okay.
These lies are getting so weird and specific now. I don't even really understand it.
Yeah. That is another argument
is someone
you make a lot.
You
say if it's so specific, it has to be a lie. Because
It has to be a lie.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. What you're saying doesn't make any sense, Dr. London.
So dipstick for urine becomes trace positive at 300 milligrams of protein per 24 hours. And I know
Now you're
that
trying
that's...
to convince me that in the medical world you call it a dipstick?
Okay, well that's... No, not the
No,
not tobacco.
I know this is a lie.
It's not the same as tobacco dip. I want to... It's not the same.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay, good.
Because I know the way you chew tobacco is there is a lot of sticks involved, but typically I don't think that's true for most people.
Okay. So, screening recommendations for those with diabetes is annual testing for microalbuminuria, and treatment typically involves an ACE inhibitor or ARB when microalbuminuria is present.
No, it's not. It's not always exactly annual. Sometimes it's a little earlier or later. So
okay.
that's kind of a lie. What? It's just, I got it on May 7th, so I must do May 7th the next year?
Okay, no, you're correct. Like it can vary by a
Yes.
few days. That's okay. And I guess DJ
knew
Dylan,
it.
yeah, go ahead and add it to the tally. Do the tally sound effect. Cameron got a point.
Yep, and you owe me $5 for the fib.
Okay, well that I'm gonna contest that because that point you've tried to add that to the tally situation.
Dr. London, I don't really care about any of this. The only reason I'm calling you out is because you invented the Fibs for Dollars system.
Yeah, well, it's a charity, but like
I gave I called you out on your fib,
and so I have
and now
to
you
pay.
give me
Yeah.
$5. This is your system. I would love to just be sitting here
Yeah,
playing on my phone, just like people do.
yeah, and just play it casual. But then I keep inventing these systems that are meant to just make
so
our
of course
chores
I'm going to call you.
more
I'm going to say,
efficient.
no, it's not. You're lying. And eventually it's going to be true.
Okay. So these agents, ACE inhibitors and ARBs, they're proven to decrease the rate of progression of nephropathy by decreasing intraglomerular hypertension, which is the high blood pressure. And
Now that is true. I do know that.
Okay, good.
So
Agreed.
that we can agree on at least.
So decreasing the high blood or high pressure within the intraglomerular area, and that of course decreases the damage to the kidney because it's again the lower pressure.
See, this is where we disagree.
Okay.
I think it increases the damage to the kidney.
You think that the medicine that we give that's clinically been shown to be effective in reducing damage and helping these patients,
Yeah,
you just disagree with it.
yeah, it just makes it worse.
Anyway, we can move on from there. All right, Cameron, you said that we have a special guest today. Is that right?
Again, I just don't recall. We do, but I just don't recall saying that.
Hello there. My name is Dr. LondonSmith.com, and this is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
Hello, my name's Matt Chartreuse. I'm, it's a little spacey. It's been a long day inhaling fumes in the stockyards. I used to work there, so I kind of hang out there from time to time.
Stockyard, that's Wall Street?
It's
Stock market?
Pullman, south side of Chicago. It's where they used to kill all the livestock, and a lot of meats came out of here.
Oh, do you do any of the killing?
I used to. I used to swing the hammer, as they say. And I loved that job. Let me tell you, I loved that job. But I threw my back out, and then I lost the use of both my legs, and that's what brought me here to you gentlemen today, actually.
And you say swing the hammer, as they say, but was it actually just swinging a hammer?
Yeah, that was what the job was. It was 10 hours straight, and they would lead
cow skulls.
Yeah,
As they
they'd lead the
say.
livestock up the ramp. Yeah, and I'd just go ahead and I'd swing it from 12 to 6. That's
Yeah.
what they'd say. Maddie goes 12 to 6, no time at
Yeah.
all. That's what they'd say.
That's
Oh wow!
med school,
Not even
too.
a lunch break.
That's right. Yeah, no, there was no breaks. It was a union thing, and it was a bad, rotten gig.
It was a union thing. That's what they agreed on is no lunch.
Yeah, our team,
Your
our
union
team
is
was
awful. Yeah,
It was not so good. Looking with the benefit of hindsight now, I wish I would have done different, but yeah, it sucks. And so I lost the use of both the legs there. The hammer, it's about 25 pounds, and so and I was it turned out my path of movement was just wrong. I was doing sort of like a serpentine thing with my spine, and I just twisted it all up, and then the legs went, and then at some point, this was last year in 2022. Here we are, and Happy New Year to you gentlemen. By the way, this is
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, to you as well. Dr. London, have you seen anyone with this condition with just sort of a messed up, broke-ass body?
Well, that's most of my... Well, see, because where I practice is outside of one of these stock exchanges.
Sure. Yeah, see, I actually saw... I came here today because I saw your face on a bench outside a bus stop, Dr. London Smith.
You came over because my face was on the bench. Because I was sitting on it. I was sitting down, like hunched over, so you could see my face still. But like, yeah, it has really drummed up a lot of business. People have been like, "Oh wow, they wonder what the advertisement is behind me." But
we do need to take down on some of the other benches "You're missing" poster because we found you. You're not missing anymore.
But you kind of miss me in a way, right? Like when I'm not around.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So it's just like, oh yeah, I miss him.
Yeah.
It says missing.
That's a nice twist on the missing poster concept. I have to say that's charming. Actually, I love that.
Matt, are you looking for some medical help?
Well, actually, I've sort of made peace with the lack of leg function. I've got a nice chair that you can see here. I've been able, I slapped some wheels on here.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is, it's a little wonky here, but I'm able to get around. This is okay.
Yeah, it's a lazy boy wheelchair.
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
very comfortable.
This is a leather cushion. I actually just pulled this out of the trash a few blocks away here. I had a different one. It was sort of, brownish colored. It was like a mattress, half a mattress. Now this is like a solid ottoman leather cushion here. This is nice. But so I'm okay with this chair. This moves. But I found myself, and it's interesting. I heard as I was wheeling up, it takes me a bit, but I was hearing you gentlemen talk about how you celebrated your New Year's, and Bermuda Triangle came up, and I have been there recently, actually. Not sure how I arrived. I know it happened sometime when I was near the Tennessee, Appalachian area. I got thrown somewhere. And, point being, I spent some time down there and I wake up and both my kidneys are gone, right?
Yeah.
Both my kidneys are gone, replaced with baked potatoes. And now I've got 2 baked potatoes in my back. This wound is not really closed up yet at all, but you can see the baked potatoes are sort of, they're not exactly functioning,
Not
some,
as a kidney, yeah.
No. I get some mashed potatoes that are warm, from time to time, so I can eat those. But, other than that, there's no function. And so I came here to sort of ask, how can I get new kidneys?
Is it a baked potato with all the toppings? I mean, are we talking shredded cheese, bacon bits?
No cheese, but there's sour cream, chives, and there was what once was bacon bits, I believe. Most of those have been snacked out of the potatoes now, but there was some tasty bits in there.
You've been sort of
I picking at
it a little bit. Yeah, I mean everyone does, right?
I mean, what am I going to do with it? The wound's still open, and there's I'm hungry. I like I said, I lost my job. I can't be in the food lines forever. So hey.
One thing I can say about you, in terms of the mental health, you've got to be doing pretty well if your first take on having your kidneys replaced with potatoes is that you get to eat warm potatoes sometimes. That's a pretty...
Well, I've always loved them. Yeah, I've always loved starch. For some reason, it's just my preferred sort of taste, texture. Really, really enjoy that. And then the skin is healthy, I guess,
Yeah,
that's what they say.
Like, I guess my concern would have been, flavor-wise, is if you're, tasting and you've got your own skin in the mix and your own fluids that you're reaching through, your own peritoneal cavity.
Yeah, when it was fresh, it tasted most potatoy. It definitely tasted the best. Now here we are, a few weeks removed from this happenstance.
Okay.
And
I'm
impressed.
I guess is
probably
the first thing I feel.
You're
right
impressed
now.
that he's eating
alive.
so slow.
That you're not dead yet. Because this is one of the things that a lot of people like, especially Cameron, like to dismiss. We use our kidneys a lot. Our bodies do. We don't.
I heard that, and I'll tell you what, I never would have missed them until they were gone. It's it's just the thing about kidneys, and I guess people.
Yeah, honestly,
Isn't that always how it works?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of major organs, I guess, would work like that because you aren't consciously thinking, "Oh, my brain is so great." Never thought that.
Really?
Not once. Not when I was swinging the hammer. Not when I was let go. Not when I was trying to find my way out of that Bermuda bathroom. Never.
This is sort of like how people think their inner monologue is differently. Some people sort of think in words. Other people think in images. For me, I do think in my brain is the greatest. I am the greatest.
Do you think
like everything's filtered through that lens?
Well, this brings up the other organs. Do you think that about your liver and your spleen?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm indifferent on my spleen.
Okay.
It's fine.
Do you want to go? Okay, let me see. The appendix is a big one for debate because a lot of people don't consider it to be really necessary.
Well, I mean, I like the underdogs. You know what I mean? I'm an indie music guy.
Gallbladder.
Sure.
Okay.
Great. Perfect.
Okay.
I'm amazing.
Your heart.
Skin.
Yeah, skin is also skin is an organ.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the skin.
Love
always very top of mind for me. Love it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
My skin, someone else's skin, doesn't matter.
Great for lampshades, let me tell you.
Absolutely.
I've seen a lot of skin lamps out in the alleyways around Chicago for whatever reason. I don't know where they're coming from, but
okay. Well, I'm sorry. This is a point where so we have an advertiser that they said make it organic. Make sure it comes up organically. Skin shades. And I didn't want this to be. I didn't want it to happen naturally, but yes, we're supposed to talk about the skin shades. There's incredible.
Into the plug.
Cameron, do you have the ad copy?
Yes.
Okay, there's skin shades.
Yeah, it says, "Do you want your house to be like the murderer kidnapper guy from American Horror Story Season 2, aka Bloody Face? Then get these skin lamps because they're lampshades and they are made of human skin from some of Dr. London's own patients who passed away."
See, and that they put that in the ad copy. I told them that it wasn't true, and they said, "Really?"
Yeah.
Really?
I don't believe it. They being me, I made this. And I still don't believe you. I'm not saying you killed them. It's much more ethical than being Bloody Face from American Horror Story Season 2.
I'll tell you what, we reuse the skin out of the stockyards for a lot of different stuff. I think what you're doing is smart, Dr. London Smith. You got to reuse stuff, recycle, right? I mean, just being economical.
Have you thought about using maybe like a cow kidney? Can you just stick one of those in you?
I didn't think of that, but, you're probably right. I know that there's a big bucket of those in the cooler.
When Cameron suggests an organ for an organ transplant, it's not actually a good idea. It normally...
Oh, no. I'm excited about this.
Don't some people have, like, pig hearts and stuff like that?
I've heard about pig hearts.
I feel like what we're leading into here is the chore wheel.
We are leading into the chore wheel, it sounds like. Let me explain what Dr. London's talking about. Dr. London and I have been neglecting our chores for a really long time now, and they've built up, and so we invented a chore wheel which has a bunch of tasks on it, and we spin it every single week, and whatever task it lands on, that is the chore that we have to do. Now, Matt, would you do us a favor and spin that big old wheel right behind you?
Oh, sure. Let me just wheel around right here, and I'll face it, and reach up, grab the peg. There we go.
Oh, of course we have to do this one. Okay, so, it's the beginning of the year. Welcome to 2023. But with the new year, we have to do what we always do. We have to forgive one person from 2022, and then we have to make a new enemy for 2023.
Keep the balance sheet even. I like it. Okay.
So, I mean, I'll go ahead and start. I'm going to forgive President George W. Bush.
For what?
For stealing he stole my tech decks.
Okay. And then
you know,
sure
little
it was him?
finger skateboards?
Oh,
yeah.
I've read your blog, but you're sure it was him who stole them?
I'm pretty sure. We were at this meeting for war criminals, right?
Right.
And it's like a summit, basically.
Yeah. Well, it happens to be where you hang out. Yeah, that's your weekends usually.
Yeah. And Duarte or whatever, the Philippines guy, he was showing me his tech decks, and then I turn around, and suddenly my tech decks were gone.
Okay.
And Bush, this is Bush Jr., because H was still alive then.
Right.
Bush goes, wasn't me.
Oh.
With like a little smirk on it, like a sneaky smirk on his face.
Okay.
So I forgive him, and I will even... shake his hand at the next war criminal summit.
But are you with the buzzer, with the hand buzzer, or no?
Yeah, I'll probably prank him. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say because I know how you are at these war summits. Like you are, you always do it. You always get them with the prank or the fart machines or whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
or like here's some peanuts. It's just. Here's a can that just has peanuts on it with no logos or anything. Go ahead, and then you open it, and there's a snake.
Or the taser to the neck. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Both classic pranks. Both of those.
Okay, and then...
and I have to make a new enemy for 2023. I've given this a lot of thought.
Oh, no.
I think it has to be...
Oh, boy.
The Pope.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say the Pope. This is because you tried to do the Pope last year, and it was taken.
Yeah, someone else had gotten it, but it's just he stole my idea for the Pope Mobile.
Yeah,
that was my idea.
Yeah. No, once again, I've seen your blog. I've seen your sketches.
Yeah.
Yours flies, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It flies. It has wings.
And it has big.
It's run by American Airlines. Yeah, and also has big boxing arms.
Yeah.
Matt, do you want to give us a shot?
Sure. Let me take a think here. I would like to
forgive.
I think I'll go ahead. There's a few that I can forgive off the top of my head here. I'm going to forgive Tommy Two Toes. He jumped in front of me in the food line yesterday. And he happened to grab their last hunk of bread and cup of soup. And, he sort of turned around and was like, you two slow wheels, and walked away. And we used to work together, and, he's always kind of a dick. But
he can turn around so fast with just 2 toes, less friction.
Yeah. It's true. He actually, his movement
pivoting must be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a ballerina. The way he moves around is just, you would never expect it.
Loses balance pretty easily, too. But...
Oh, sure. I mean, just a little elbow in the side and he's over. Yeah. But I forgive him because, hey, we have hunger. We've all experienced it. And he knew I wasn't chasing after him in this chair. So, you're forgiven. And I guess for the new enemy, for me it's gravity. Gravity is the enemy that is my 23 target of my real aya.
What has gravity done to piss you off recently?
Well, recently, just this morning, actually, I was lifting myself off the chair.
Oh, no.
To get into the porta potty, to try and make use of it. And then, the chair starts sliding downhill because the porta potty's up sort of on the top of this hill for whatever reason. And then I didn't quite make it. I tried to do a little jump and didn't quite make it there. So I hit the ground and then I slid in the stones, and I've got this kind of rug burn, sort of a turf thing on the lower back. It's really messed up the baked potatoes, I'll tell you that. But I'm gravity. I'm done with it. I'll tell you what. You don't really notice it until the legs are gone and you're using arms for everything. But man, gravity's a bitch, and I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Wow. I mean, I kind of agree. I'd never thought about it before, but I kind of hate gravity now. But I've already chosen my enemy. But man,
True.
next
I'll tell you what.
Gravity
Next
sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a perpetual enemy because I got to be honest. I mean, I'll be chasing it, but I don't know if I'm going to catch it this year anyway. But I mean, we all know somebody who's fallen at some point.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
man.
like dropped a bowling ball on their toe.
Ugh, come on.
And if there was
Tommy
no
did
gravity,
that.
you could just bat it around as you're floating off into space.
Totally. Man, if there's no gravity right now, I could just I could shoot around midair. I could get
Yeah.
over to, the Knicks for a slice, shoot over to the bar. No problem. Now I got to wait for crosswalks. Forget it.
Oh. Oh boy. Okay, this does lead to me, doesn't it?
It does. This is your turn, Dr.
It's the
So-
chore wheel.
Well,
Says,
Gotta do it.
so, okay, no, it is a chore. For me, I guess who I'm gonna forgive is Freddie and Betty. Now we were close for a while, but they kept stealing kidneys and replacing them with whatever fruit or vegetable they had on them.
Oh no.
Usually they'd be fully loaded. Normally it's like a fully loaded pineapple, but recently there's been a shortage. So
have you talked to them about this? Like,
about what?
just like, hey, cut
Forgiving
this
them?
out if you're not. No, just if you have a problem.
I'm
with them.
forgiving them for they one of them like kind of tripped me the other day. Like kind of we were walking
Oh.
along and one knew that the other one was doing it, and the other one Betty saw that Freddie was about to trip me, and then Freddie tripped me, and then I recovered quickly. I didn't like fall, but I
Yeah.
was like, hey, hoot, and then
You're a
they
little
both like
embarrassed,
smirked
yeah.
at me. Yeah. So no, I was just saying like that's what they do for a living is the
Sure, yeah.
the kidney thing, but no, it was the
they
tripping
weren't
me.
by, you don't know if they were Freddie and Betty. They don't go to Bermuda. They don't travel, do they?
Well, they had. I'm trying to think of because I have their schedule here. Yeah, so they recently they were, yeah, but it's like it was just a vacation thing. I think I don't know.
Because
they said it was business, but like I
Yeah.
think they mix business with pleasure, which I
Oh,
know you're not
geez.
legally
Which is-
supposed to do.
Yeah,
right.
but we all do it.
Yeah. So
Sometimes it's hard not to.
yeah.
You know,
So
if I were saying I didn't take pleasure from killing some of those cows, I'd be lying. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that.
And if look, the way that we bang our fans, me and Dr. London,
mhm.
in the hazmat suits and everything,
Yeah.
isn't that mixing business and pleasure a little bit?
Oh, I don't think
Well,
so.
there's no pleasure, I
There's
guess.
no pleasure, yeah.
It's very, very strict no pleasure. So it's just
Yeah.
mixing business and
More business, honestly.
cardio.
Yeah, and like passion might be a strong word for it, but
No, there should not be any
physicality,
passion.
just business and physicality.
Release.
Yes.
How about maybe a release, a mix of business
Only
and
on
release?
the most technical clinical level
Yeah.
would I consider
Sure.
to be that, because it's honestly
Friction.
I end with I'm more tense after the situation.
Interesting.
And that's what we call it, is the situation.
Yeah.
But
So
Dr. London, who are you who's
my
gonna be your
enemy?
enemy this year? Yeah.
yeah, for me, I guess it's the paper plate that couldn't hold up. I got a big piece of pizza and I put it on this paper plate, and it like the grease immediately was soaking through it. So my big enemy is gonna be that paper
Oh.
plate.
I hate that. You
What
know,
did you do with it?
I framed it, put it on the
Oh,
wall.
so you can to inspire you to be pissed.
Yeah, well, honestly, I wasn't even thinking of this chore, but it is on my pissed off wall. So
Yeah. Now, Matt, I'm introducing a new segment for this year, just really quick. We know it sounds like you've fallen on hard times, so the show is going to give every single guest this year a gift, and the gift that we're giving you is this piece of paper. I'm going to write down the link to our Patreon, and you for $5 a month, you can just sign up for it.
oh,
So here you go.
Cameron, thank you.
Yeah,
This
have a
is
happy
great.
2023.
yeah, and just
oh, you guys.
it's gift. The R is silent, obviously, just to clarify.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. No, I understand. But you know what? I would be happy to join this. You gentlemen are lovely, and I like hearing you. This is
Yeah.
great.
Do you have anyone you want to shout out? Anything you're a fan of?
Sure. Yes, I love. There's this great show, the Cannabis Man podcast. It's something. It's free every week. There's this guy Don Kleppin. He talks to sort of experts in different fields who are doing research about cannabis, who are growing it or making some products to make people's lives better. And it's a free show, and you can get it wherever you get podcasts. So thanks. Thanks for that.
Free. Well, I've never heard of a free podcast, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a strange, it's a weird thing. I don't know. He never talks about it, but it
just sounds like
it's out there.
They're going to lose money on it, is really, because there's the hosting costs.
Yeah, because we charge, $45 for what, 7 minutes?
As
every
far as
7 minutes?
I know, it's what I'm charged. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll send them an email because hearing you talk about these divers and this free podcasting thing. People got to know. If there's a cost,
people got to pay.
Yeah.
People got to pay. There's upkeep.
This is it. Water's important too. I get that with the divers. You can't just. We all want to do things. You can't just go and do it.
Just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again to Matt Chartreuse. Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the house.
Do you do any of the killing?
I used to. I used to swing the hammer, as they say. And I love that job. Let me tell you, I love that job. Then I swing it from 12 to 6. That's what they'd say. Maddie goes 12 to 6, no time at all. That's what they'd say.
My name is drlondonsmith.com, and this has been the Jock Doc Podcast.
See ya.
Cool.